Go. Welcome, New Jersey students, parents, counselors. Hope you're all out there signed up for this virtual college exploration from Mercer University. Before we go any further, I want you to know that in order to ask a question, which I hope you will do, there is a Q&A button. Your camera and microphone are turned off so that there's no contact with you and the presenter here. You can sign up for more sessions. There are several more tonight, and then there are several tomorrow. And recordings of all of our sessions will be available on NJACAC.org/virtual fair. That's NJACAC.org/virtual fair. I'll turn you over to the good hands of Sage Goodney, and she will introduce you to Mercer University.
Hello, everyone, and welcome in. I'm super excited you're all joining us today. I have a quick presentation to go through, so whenever I get this pulled up for us, I will get that all set. I am located at Mercer University in Macon, Georgia, so a little bit down south, but it's still warm here, and we're super excited to share this information with you. So actually, Mercer University was founded in 1833 in Penfield, Georgia, which I don't expect you to know where that is. It's a very rural area. There's not much there, but we moved to Macon, Georgia, where we are today, and the fourth largest city in Georgia in 1871. Now, I mention this mainly because it shows that we've been educating and investing in the lives of young adults for over 180 years. And we'd like to think that in 180 years, we've gotten pretty good at it, and definitely quite a few people will agree with us. So we've been named to quite a few different lists of distinction. One of my favorites on this list actually is best value. So to be named a best value institution, they look at three different things, and that includes the cost of the attendance, the quality of the education, and the reputation of the degree. So basically it's saying that you are getting a really good degree, the best bang for your buck, and a really great education out of it. So it's really nice to know that people will recognize your degree as something of value. Another one on here that's definitely one of my favorites is that we are a Purple Heart University, meaning that if you have military benefits, those can apply to you here at Mercer throughout your time. So you just have to let me know, and I can connect you to our VA representative on campus. Now, the reason we're able to have all these distinctions and to be known for so many cool things is in part due to our 12 schools and colleges here at Mercer. So we have 6 graduate and professional schools, as well as 6 undergraduate programs that you guys are looking at today. A really cool thing is that across all of these schools and colleges and across all of our campuses, we have a total enrollment of about 9,000 students. But more specifically, our traditional undergraduate students here in Macon are about 3,400 of those 9,000. So we are a smaller university. We have a very intimate community environment here. And as someone who attended a smaller university, it's a really nice size because it's just enough that you don't have to try to not know everyone. You just won't know everyone. But it's also small enough that when you're walking to your 9 a.m. class where you might have a test that might ruin your day a little bit, you're probably going to see a friend or two on the way just to brighten up your morning. So that's always a really nice benefit to it. Another cool thing about having all these graduate and professional schools, as well as all of our undergraduate programs, is the depth of the education that we can provide. It creates so many cool programs that we're able to have, and super exciting. So we have 4+1 programs within our programs of business and engineering. And then we have special consideration programs within a few of our other graduate and professional schools. Now, 4+1 programs, if you are not aware, basically make it so that you can get your bachelor's and your master's in 5 years instead of 6. And it opens you up to discounted tuition, graduate level scholarships, and a lot of these have fast track programs that allow you to be automatically accepted once you apply to the 4+1, which is super nice. The special consideration programs are a little different. They help you get your foot in the door, so to speak, with some graduate and professional schools. Some of them help you, go ahead and get your interview out of the way, get you a guaranteed interview, or give you guaranteed admission. It just depends on the program and what you're interested in. We also have accelerated versions of some of these. Again, they're exactly how they sound. They get your foot in the door, but they're a little bit sped up. On average, these programs save you about 1 year of schooling, which I know doesn't sound like much, but when you're looking at 8 years of schooling, it's definitely a nice benefit to, cut that down to 7 or cut that down to 6, just depending on the programs that you're looking at. And if you're interested in any of these, feel free to ask a question, or you can reach out to me at the end. I'll say all my contact info so you can let me know and I can talk about one specifically for you. Now, I know that we're talking a lot about graduate and professional schools, but it's important to touch on the programs that we have here for our undergraduate students for you. So these are three of our biggest, most unique programs here, and so I'd love to talk about these because they not only are very unique to us, but they do exemplify how we teach here at Mercer, what we can offer, and what that looks like. So the first one on this list is our Center for Collaborative Journalism. Now, this has been deemed by the New York Times as the boldest experiment in journalism to date. It is modeled after teaching hospitals and the fact that our students in this program are learning from working professionals in the field. Not only that, they're actually earning all this work experience starting their freshman year. So the students who graduate from our CCJ actually graduate with 4 years of work experience on top of their well-known degree. So it makes them super competitive when it comes to the workforce as well as graduate programs. It's always nice to see that hands-on learning experience. And that not only happens in our CCJ, but in quite a few different settings here on campus. A lot of our students actually do a lot of hands-on learning and get to practice what they're learning. It's not about memorizing things for exams. It's actually about learning it, retaining it, and actually being able to practice it and do it. And so you'll see a lot of cool students who go through this program, do a lot of wonderful things. We actually have quite a few partnerships. A lot of students work with ESPN3, WMAZ here in Macon, as well as our Macon Telegraph, and Mercer Cluster and other Mercer journalism outlooks and outposts. And you don't have to just be journalism. They also have media studies and communication majors working in this program. We also have our McDuffie Center for Strings. Now, this is a conservatory-style program for students playing strings instruments. It takes about 27 students total, and it's competitive and prestige and rigor to Rice University and Juilliard, so it's definitely up there. The students who audition for this program and are selected do receive a McDuffie Presidential Scholarship, which is a full tuition less entitlement scholarship. And these students do major in music and performance, are usually able to travel the world working under world-renowned musicians. They do a beautiful concert series here. Actually, just the other night at a venue right by my house, they did a small concert for locals in the area, which was super cool to see as someone who lives in Macon. And so these students are definitely really, really talented. And I highly recommend if you are a student here at Mercer, if you end up here, these concerts are free to you. And there's not many times that you'll actually have access to this high caliber of music for free. So I always recommend taking advantage of that opportunity. And we are that smaller, intimate community environment, so you probably know these students. At least one of them is definitely in one of your general education courses. We also have our Mercer Innovation Center, which is for the student with an entrepreneurial spirit. If you've ever wanted to start a business, or if you've already started a business, this is going to be a wonderful resource on campus for you. Our Mercer Innovation Center actually, basically what they do is they help students take the next step in whatever it is their goal is. So if you pitch an idea to faculty and staff here, they can help you with office space in the building or funding, point you in the direction of investors or experts to help you grow your business. We've had quite a few students come out of this program and with successful, profitable businesses before they even graduate college here at Mercer. One of my favorite stories to talk about actually was a student named Shane. He started a coffee business that if you ever come to Macon and visit us, you will see one of his locations right here next to campus. He was a student who went on one of our Mercer on Mission trips, which I'll touch on in a little bit. But basically, he went on a trip that was all about testing water contamination in Ecuador because they mine with mercury there, and mercury is causing early onset dementia. So the students there were trying to find a way to lower the amount of contamination to try and help these families in this area. Now, Shane, he was not a chemistry student, that was not his forte, but he did minor in Spanish and they needed a translator, so he decided to join in. And when he went, he met a coffee farmer there, and he went talking, and he got to know the guy, and he found out that the soil was perfect for growing coffee, and it did so well. So he asked, why don't more people farm coffee instead of mining? I mean, that fixes the problem altogether in just a different way. But he found out that there was no demand for it, so therefore more people couldn't supply it. When he got back from his trip, he actually applied for a permit to import coffee beans from Zarima, Ecuador to the United States, and he got it. And he started selling coffee right in the Mercer Innovation Center, which was phenomenal and so amazing. And he did so well there. He actually just opened up his 5th location. We also have a roastery downtown Macon here. And he's only been graduated for about 2 years now. So it's just one of the success stories that we like to talk about because it really shows what you can do with the resources that we have here, and that we want you to see you succeed, and we want to see that for you. Now, yes, we have a bunch of cool programs and a lot of interesting things like this, but it's also important to talk about two of our big pillars here at Mercer, and that is research and service. We are a large research institution here in Georgia. We get about $50 million in research funding each year. And I know when you think of research in college, you typically think of, assisting research maybe, but mainly graduate level and PhD level. But we believe in research at all levels and all disciplines here at Mercer. So we are one of the few schools here in Georgia that are a part of the Georgia Research Alliance, and we do have a chapter of Phi Beta Kappa Honor Society, which is the oldest and most prestigious honor society that there is. You have to meet certain requirements as an institution to have a chapter on your campus, so we're definitely proud of that. And it really just opens up the opportunities for students to participate in research in different fields. Now, we have students in all different grade levels participating in research, leading their own or assisting, just depending on what they want to do. We do research in the STEM fields as well as the humanities, so no matter what you're interested in studying here at Mercer, you can take part in research if that's something you want to do. There's definitely the funding and definitely the resources to do so. And not only do we do research, and a lot of it, we do research well, and we get recognized for it. So we are Georgia's leading producer in Goldwater Scholars, which is the highest scholarship that you can receive in the STEM field for your undergraduate research. And actually, we've had 12 in the past 8 years. And a fun fact too is that we were the only school in the nation to have 3 engineering Goldwater scholarships last year. And now I know you think when you think earning awards for your undergraduate research, it must be seniors who have spent all this time in the lab, all these years, and that is not how it works here at Mercer. We have students in all grade levels get it. Actually, those 3 engineering were a sophomore, junior, and a senior earning rewards for their research. Also, we have very involved students. We had the first D1 football player to receive a Goldwater scholarship. So our students aren't just spending all their time in the lab, they're actually very involved on campus alongside that. We've also had 21 Fulbright scholars in the past 10 years, which is also a recognition for undergraduate research, but this is more for the humanities and less so for the STEM fields. So just know that no matter what discipline you're in, you can be recognized for the research that you're doing and all the hard work that you put into it. The other pillar here at Mercer is service. We are a big service institution. Now, service hours are not required to be a member of our institution, nor are they required to stay. But you will notice that a lot of our students here at Mercer have really giving hearts. They like to give back to their communities, whether that be local, back in their hometown, or globally. We have quite a few organizations that do a lot to give back to our Macon community, such as Mercer. They do service Saturdays, be a good neighbor. Lots of bear puns occur here, so get used to that one. But we have a lot of opportunities for students to give back. They paint houses, clean up streets, tutor students, whatever is needed. They take that initiative and they do it all on their own. These are not faculty-led organizations, it's all the students. We also have programs that give back to specific organizations. So if you're really passionate about Habitat for Humanity, Children's Miracle Network, CURE, anything like that, you can give back in a way that's really passionate for you and something that you can put your all into. And also here at Mercer, we don't just keep research and service separate, we like to combine them, which I know sounds a little interesting, but we created a program called Research That Reaches Out. And the idea is to take what you're learning in your classrooms, in your labs, in your lectures, and actually applying it to the world to see positive change. And from this, we created a flagship program called Mercer on Mission. So Mercer on Mission, actually, what it is a trifecta. It's study abroad, research, and service. Now, with research and service and study abroad together, I know it sounds, again, interesting, but we have about 44 different missions right now in all different areas, in all different subjects that allow students to travel and give back to communities. We have medical clinics in Cambodia. You can go to Rwanda and teach widows how to start their own businesses to support their families in a patriarchal society. You can test water contamination in Uganda. You can also go to Vietnam and fit prosthetic limbs to amputees in the area. There are so many cool opportunities for our students that is all about taking what you're learning in your lectures, in your labs, in your classrooms, and seeing that with the knowledge that you've gained from Mercer and all the knowledge you've retained, you can really change someone's life for the better. And it's not all about going and doing it for these communities, you're giving them the tools to do it for themselves. And that is the coolest thing to see. And it gives a lot of students the opportunities to practice what they're learning in a way they never would have before, especially, with our medical clinics in Cambodia. It allows students to actually practice and help the families in need and all of these wonderful opportunities. So I highly recommend this. If this is something you're interested in, please reach out to me. I'd be happy to talk about a program that fits you and what you want to do and your passions. And Mercer believes in this so much, they pay for it, which is really nice. The only thing you pay for is your class credit, so for the tuition for that summer. So that's a really nice benefit as well. So I highly recommend that here at Mercer. And a lot of these cool things are included in the Mercer experience, but mainly I want to talk about a big part of college as well, which is the people that you meet. Now, the cool thing about the people that you meet here at Mercer is our faculty, 94% of them have their terminal degree, meaning that they have the highest degree in their respective field. So you're learning from experts. And not only that, the name on your syllabus, that teacher is who teaches your classes. It's not TAs or graduate assistants or anything like that. You're actually learning from working professionals who are experts, which is so wonderful. And they have office hours and they're there to support you no matter what. We have a 13-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So your professors, they know you, and our average class size is about 23. So definitely they know who you are. You're not just a number in a lecture hall, which is a really nice benefit, especially considering how big lecture halls can get these days. Probably the largest class you'll see is a general education course, so your first year. But personally, once you get in those very specific classes, I had an Italian course, and just my third level of my Italian course, there were only 6 of us in my class. So it's definitely nice being on that small community environment and being able to have that one-on-one with your professor, because trust me, that is the best way to learn, and it's super helpful. And not only are you having this mentor-mentee relationship with your professors, they're there to support you and foster leadership. Actually, a really wonderful standing monument to leadership here at Mercer is a place we call Mercer Village. So Mercer Village is right next to campus, and it was actually created by a student. In a business administration class, the student was trying to come up with an idea to blend our campus community with the Macon community here. And he thought of this idea with student housing and restaurants and shopping, and he created it and showed his professor. His professor loved it so much, he took it straight to administration here at Mercer, and they loved it so much, they gave him funding and a flat parking lot to do it, and he did it. So now we have Mercer Village, which is the living embodiment of what he dreamed of. It has student loft apartments. Our CCJ actually is there, as well as our bookstore. We have one of those coffee shops I mentioned, Z-Beans Coffee, and a bunch of different restaurants. And it has done exactly what it was intended to do. It has blended the communities in such a beautiful way. And it's just a standing monument to what our students can do with the support system that we can provide for them, which is a really nice benefit. And usually we actually have virtual campus tours, and you can actually see it if you are interested. I would love to send you the link, just let me know. But there's a lot to do here too. So not only are our students in the labs, in their lecture halls and doing their research and being leaders in the community, they're also very involved on our campus. So we have quite a few different ways to be involved. We have Division I athletics. We have 18 different sports in the men's and women's categories. We also have club sports in even more categories, and we are the 4th most involved intramural program according to the Princeton Review. So that is one way to get involved that I highly recommend, mainly because not only do you don't have to be in these sports, but because we are a smaller university, actually going to the games is really fun. Even if you don't think you like the sports, trust me, when you actually get there, you realize you know these people. They're in your general education courses. They're in your study halls. They might live on your hall. You don't know. And it's really cool to see that, because then you actually get invested in the game, more so than you ever thought possible. I promise you that. We also have over 150 different student organizations here at Mercer. So if athletics are not your thing, no worries. We have a lot of things and ways to get involved. We have academic programs, ethnic, religious, cultural, Greek, all of these opportunities for you to get involved here on campus. And you will find that a lot of our students are involved in more than one way. We also have ways to work on campus, which honestly are like programs and organizations themselves. We actually hire quite a few students here in the admissions office, and it's so wonderful to see the community and the family that really grows from it. And this is just one thing they do on campus. They do so many cool things, and it's such a privilege to be able to talk to these students and learn everything they're doing and how they're involved on campus. And I definitely feel honored to meet them and hear their stories. So if you want to hear their stories also, they are always happy to talk to you. So I can hook you up with some of our current students to chat with. Now, a lot of these are cool ways to get involved on campus. And for some reason, my dates are not showing, but that is okay because I do not mind. I can tell you all of these things. Now, a cool thing that we have here at Mercer is we have an open application that opens August 1st, and then we have early action deadline on November 15th. Now, early action and early decision are two very different things. Early action is non-binding, which means that it can't hurt you to apply. If you're admitted, you don't have to attend our institution. Early decision means that if you are admitted when you apply by that deadline, you do have to, it is a binding agreement, you have to attend that institution. So be aware of that when you're applying to applications and you're applying to colleges. It's super helpful to know. But our early action deadline opens you up to the most amount of scholarship opportunities. So always remember November 15th. And then our next deadline is February 1st, which is a priority scholarship deadline. So if you miss that November 15th, no worries. We have another scholarship deadline. It's just less opportunities available at that moment, but there are still some. And then we are enrolling admissions all through the spring. So be aware of that. Those are just some things to know about. We also take a holistic approach to the application process, meaning that we look at everything. It's not just about your GPA or your test scores anymore. There's more to you than that, and we really do value that. We are big on leadership and research and service, so trust me, we are looking at everything. We look at your involvement in high school, your service opportunities, leadership roles you've taken advantage of. Are you challenging yourself in high school with a rigor that your school can offer? You know, your letters of recommendation, your personal essay, we really read it all, which is why we require a complete application to make an admissions decision. We have two applications. You can pick one or the other. We don't have a preference. We use one on our website, and we are part of the Common App. So whichever one you prefer is best for us. We also do require an official transcript. You can send these through a variety of e-transcript services, or your counselor can send it in the mail. As long as it's official, that is best, just so we can get a correct admissions decision for you. We also require only one letter of recommendation, but we take up to 3. I always recommend picking someone in a mentorship role to you, maybe a teacher, counselor, coach, someone who has that role for you. Unfortunately, it can't be relatives, unfortunately, but that's okay because I'm definitely sure that you've got some other people who can write some wonderful recs for you. Now, we have decided to go test optional for the next 3 years, which is very exciting for us. It's a new step, and we are very, very excited to take this. So if you do want to send in test scores, which you definitely can, we do super score, and they do have to be official, so they can be sent through the College Board website or the ACT website, whichever you've tested with. If you have not been able to test, no worries, you'll still be considered for admission as well as scholarships here at Mercer, so you're not going to be missing out. And if you're kind of torn between not sure if you want to submit test scores or not, a good rule of thumb to go by is, do you feel that your test scores are a good representation of your academic ability? If not, don't send them. If you do, go ahead and send them. Be proud of that. You've worked hard, and if you feel that they are a great representation, send them. I'd love to celebrate with you, so go for it. Now, we don't have minimums because we do take a holistic approach, but typically a middle 50% here at Mercer is about 1190 to a 1350 super scored, or a 26 to a 31. Now that is middle 50%. Obviously, we take a little bit below that and a little bit above that, so no worries on that. It's just a good guide if you're kind of still stuck. Now, our average academic GPA, which is a weighted GPA, is a 3.99. So we are looking at your rigor courses, those honor courses, dual enrollment, AP, IB, whatever your school offers. Because we also take that into account. Some schools don't offer AP, some don't offer IB, some don't even offer honors. And we really do look at that. So we want to make sure that you're taking advantage of what your school offers. And if they don't offer that highest rigor, no worries, we definitely understand. Sometimes that happens, which is totally okay. Now, a big part of deciding on your colleges is financial aid. Now, financial aid is important, and it's definitely a big part of us here at Mercer. We really want to inform you best we can. Actually, I, as well as the rest of my team, are trained by our financial planning department to understand financial aid and to be able to walk you through your financial aid estimate in the spring so you understand fully what you're getting into your first year here at Mercer. So I highly recommend taking advantage of that. It's super exciting. We have merit-based scholarships. Actually, by just applying to Mercer, you're automatically evaluated for a merit-based scholarship. These can range quite a lot, but you can go all the way up to $22,000 per academic year, which is quite a lot. And then we have some scholarship competitions in addition to this. 3 are major specific. So we have one for engineering, one for business, and one for media change makers, which is our journalism, communication, and media studies students. So that's really exciting. We also have different opportunities in based off the holistic review of your application. So there's definitely some options there. One is by that early action deadline of November 15th, and that is our Presidential Scholars Weekend. I've actually got it all fixed up now so you can see them. So Presidential Scholars Weekend is the top 10% of applicants at that early action deadline, that pool there. The students who are invited to this do write an essay, they do an interview, and they interview for a chance to increase their scholarship all the way up to full tuition less entitlements. Actually, at all of the major specific competitions, you have a chance to get that high, which is very exciting and a great opportunity, even if you're not invited to any of these based off your application. Now, a smaller percentage of students who are invited to Presidential will be invited to apply for our Stamp Scholars Program. If you're unfamiliar with a Stamp Scholar, it's basically through the Strive Foundation, which was formerly known as the Stamps Foundation. But these students are a select few that go through a rigorous application and interview process and are selected by the Strive Foundation. But a Stamp Scholar here at Mercer does receive a full ride, as well as a stipend for books and supplies, an enrichment fund for research and or study abroad, as well as an iPad on top of all that, because how could it get any better? And they're definitely helpful anyway, especially if you've seen all those aesthetic ways to take notes. I highly recommend them. But that is a great opportunity if you're interested. I highly recommend that early action deadline. Now, we do also have Heritage Scholars Day for the students who did miss that early action. It's like the sibling to Presidential, so you're able to write an essay, interview for a chance to increase your scholarship here at Mercer all the way up to full tuition less entitlements. So there's definitely a lot of options here if you're kind of torn between different dates, deadlines. If you miss one, no worries. We have a lot of ways for you to get money from Mercer. Now we have a few other financial aid pools, so to speak. We have talent-based awards for our Division I athletics, as well as music students. Like I mentioned, that Presidential McDuffie Scholarship. But if you're looking to major in music, minor in music, and then a few ensembles actually have some scholarship money as well. So it's just as long as you let us know, and we can let you know an audition date and see what we can work out for you. We also have need-based awards based off the information from the FAFSA, which opened up on October 1st. So I highly recommend filling that out as soon as you can. A cool thing about all this is that we actually have additional aid outside of federal aid that can come from our financial planning department, that comes from alumni donors and endowments that we have. So always fill that out, send it in, do it as soon as you can, because you'll know what you get sooner, and you'll know if you've been selected for verification, so you can complete that quickly. We also accept outside scholarships, so I always heavily push those whenever you can. They can't hurt you. They can only help you wherever you decide to go. And we also have military benefits, like I mentioned earlier. So if these apply to you, like the post 9/11 GI Bill, let me know and I can connect you to our VA representative on campus. Now, a great way to know if any of these events are coming up, as well as my contact info, more about our programs and our offerings and our majors. These are some great resources I highly recommend you take advantage of, because we are very active on these and we share a lot of really cool information. And, you know, we want to stay connected and we want to help you out. I am actually the admissions counselor for the whole state of New Jersey. So I am your admissions counselor if you are watching this. Hello. And I'm happy to help. I love to connect with my students and I want to get to know you and your story. I want to read your application and I want to see you here on campus. So you can always give me a call. I have 2 different numbers. I have an office number you can call me at and a cell number you can text, whatever you prefer. My office is 478-301 2659. I forgot for a second. And all my information is also on our website. If you go to our website, hit find your counselor, you'll put in your state and it will show you my face and it will show you my email, my numbers, and how you can reach me, as well as a little bit of fun facts about me, which I'm always happy to share. But that is all I have for today. I know a lot of students, my last piece of advice though, I do want to give it because I always tell my students this because it's very important. When you're looking at colleges, there's one big step you should try and take. I know it's very difficult right now with everything going on. It's visiting campus. Now, I know you can't do that for everywhere, especially us, we're down here in Georgia, but take advantage of all the virtual opportunities you can, you know, and also try different types of schools. Go visit a big school, visit a small school, visit a public school, a private school, a school in the city, a school in the rural area, and somewhere you've never been. It's important to kind of get a variety so that you can keep an open mind and really find out what you want. This is about you and what you want to study, where you want to be. This is not anyone else's decision but yours. So yes, while it is nice to take, you know, opinions and help from others, in the end, it's your decision and you should pick somewhere you want to be. Because trust me, transferring is not as fun as they make it out to seem. It's a little harder. So feel free to reach out to me, not only with questions about Mercer and our application and admissions process and financial aid, but also college in general. I take the word counselor very seriously, so I'm always happy to help. But that is all I have for you today. Please reach out to us. We have a bunch of virtual visit options for you students, and that is all I have. Thank you so much.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Sage, for that very enlightening presentation. And I want to thank you to the students and parents or whoever's out there for joining us tonight for this virtual exploration. And just there's a quick survey when you close your screen. We'll have 4 questions on it. We hope that you will give us feedback. You can sign up for more sessions at www.njACAC.org/virtual-fair. And you can also see the recordings that will be available for all of the college and university presentations we've had. Wish you the best. Thank you very much. And we're going to end this now. Take care.